So to continue on with that great thread, 10 records that I've played the most. This one is going to be the 10 records that I played the most from 1981 to 89. Reason why in 81, things really changed for me. The great music of the late 70s and the 60s, 70s. But here, new wave, post-punk started happening. Great bands. I'm going to get started, and I'll tell stories along the way. First of all, Pretenders. The debut here, I really started getting into Pretenders with the video. Chrissie Hynde as the waitress. Just a terrific video, really. And from that, I bought this album, Pretenders 2, Learning to Crawl. Love Pretenders. Love Chrissie Hynde. And, Girl from Ohio Makes Good in London, in England. What a great story, really. And here's the back cover for Pretenders. And on the inner, and to move on, another record that I played a great deal on release right around 1982. I was living at Lake Tahoe, and later on I moved to the Virgin Islands. So I went from very heavy winters, heavy snow. The winter of 82 was so big that the lodge at Alpine Meadows, there was a huge avalanche. 7 people died. A woman was trapped, and she was rescued after 5 days. I skied daily, and the storm started right around the end of March, right around my 25th birthday. And I'll never forget, I had a Subaru, and I had a Pioneer stereo system in there, very expensive for the time, Pioneer speakers, and I played everything very loud, and I played Spring Session M very loud, Missing Persons. What a record. And Walking in LA, Destination Unknown, and Words. Really, often I would just fast forward to those because I listened to a lot of my music in the car as I was driving to various ski resorts, Slide Mountain, Mount Rose, Alpine Meadows, Squaw Valley, now it's called Palisades, Sugar Bowl. I held passes at Sugar Bowl and Alpine Meadows the year of the Avalanche. And if you don't know about it, they've done a documentary about it as well. There was 14 feet of snow, if you can imagine how it can snow here in the Sierra Nevadas, in 12 days. Unbelievable. So this I would listen to this on cassette. I have it on CD, and of course I have it on vinyl. Dale and Terry Bozzio, they met while working with Frank Zappa. And then I'd have to say the third record that I listened to the most in the car on cassette is by The Police, Regatta de Blanc, and I love this album. I just left it in the player and turned the key, listened to this record. So many great songs on this. Message in a Bottle, Regatta de Blanc, Walking on the Moon, No Time This Time. Just a great album. And Regatta de Blanc, I wore it out on cassette. I got another. I have it on CD, and I have it on vinyl. Great record. Of course, I love all the Police records, absolutely. But this one I did, by far, play the most in my car, and then later on CD. Now, I couldn't do a 1981 to 89 most listened to without showing, yes, guys, the Cars. And I would pop this bad boy, this cassette in my player. And the 1, 2, 3 punch here, guys. Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, and Just What I Needed. You can't get tired of that song. Just amazing. Bye Bye Love, You're All I've Got Tonight. Killer record. Love the Cars. Rick Ocasek really knew how to write a pop song. Definitely. Hooks, Ear Candy, and Elliot Easton. What a guitarist. Just fantastic. And then another record that I listened to a whole lot, probably more than any, because I listened to this at work. I was in the restaurant business, fine dining, French restaurant. I was a captain, where you dress up, you cook tableside, and often I would put on Diamond Life, Sade. And what a great record. I would listen to this nightly. 5 nights a week. I had 2 days off a week. And really, I love Why Can't We Live Together, the Timmy Thomas cover. Just fantastic, terrific, Smooth Operator. So many great tracks on here. Cherry Pie. And later on in the 80s, 1986, I moved to St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands, Charlotte Amalie, living on the island. And I brought this down there. I brought my Walkman and a boombox. And I bought a Toyota Tercel, 1980, my second year. I call it Tours of Duty because, I mean, what a setup. By the second year, I had a car on the island. I had the best restaurant job on the island. Everything was set up. Great music. I listened to a lot of mixtapes of reggae, of locals that would hand me mixtapes, and of great reggae artists. Gregory Isaacs, that's how I discovered him. Dennis Brown, just great. Yellowman, fantastic. But on cassette, yes, I had Pete. I had Pete Townson, Empty Glass, Rough Boys. Great to have down there on St. Thomas. Great memories, absolutely. And I Am an Animal, and I'm moved. Let My Love Open the Door. And, you know, White City, I listen to a lot. And Chinese Eyes as well. Abbreviated, right? For the title. Love Pete Townson. And then over here in the U.S., we call them the English beat. And this has Mirror in the Bathroom, Two Swords, Twist and Crawl, Tears of a Clown, Ranking Full Stop. Such a fantastic record. I listened to this so much. And I listened to this more when I came home in the summer, because I would stay until about April in St. Thomas, and then I would come home to North Lake Tahoe. What a life, right? I didn't ski for 3 years or 4 years, and when I came home in 1989, that's when I started skiing like crazy again. 60, 70, 80, 90 days of winter in my boots on the mountain. And then down on St. Thomas, this is a band from near Eau Claire, Wisconsin that I just love so much. That's the Bodins, and this is Outside Looking In. And often this album is overlooked. This is my favorite Bodins record. And my favorite track on here is Picking Up the Pieces. And you think you're listening to a Lindsey Buckingham pen song, and there's soaring harmonies. You really think you're listening to Christine, Lindsey, and Stevie harmonizing when you listen to Pick Up the Pieces. It's just really fantastic. You have Kurt and Sam, and I saw Bodins live in '02. They were just wonderful, really. Great show here in Reno, Nevada. And then going way back to 1982, actually, living at Lake Tahoe, coming down to Reno, I bought Hard Promises by Tom Petty. Now, it's not my favorite Tom Petty album, but I left it in the player often, the cassette player, and I just listened to it so loud. I really think that I really had my first level of hearing damage. I'm exaggerating a little bit. My ears are pretty good, but being a lead guitarist trashed them pretty good too. I have a little tinnitus, but or tinnitus, as you might say in the UK. But here's Hard Promises, and I love Insider on here. Night Watchman, I would just crank the volume to 11 on Night Watchman. I love Mike Campbell's lick on that. His guitar lick is just fantastic, really. And here's the band. And another band that I really got into, New Jersey's own, the Smithereens. And this is a 12-inch from Green Thoughts. This is Only a Memory. I don't have Green Thoughts on vinyl. I have it on cassette. I have it on CD. I love that album. It's my favorite of the Smithereens. Just amazing record. And let me show you the wax here on this. And then an album that I had no choice of listening to or not listening to. I bought that 80 Toyota Tercel in my second year. What a great island car, a little white one. And when the guy sold it to me, he says, listen, there's a tape stuck in the deck and I can't get it out. And guys, it was Squeeze, singles 45s and under. And so, yes, I listened to this so much and it really got me into Squeeze. Love this band. I finally did get the cassette out of there. And often I would drive around with this. You know, when if I didn't want to listen to Squeeze, I had plenty of cassettes. I brought about 50 down to the islands with me. So, and just, I mean, Up the Junction, Take Me on Yours, Goodbye Girl, Another Nail in My Heart, Pulling Muscles from the Shell, Tempted, Black Coffee in Bed, Annie, Get Your Gun. Great, great album. And the last one, but I want to give some mentions to other records that I was into. I mean, REM, Life's Rich Pageant. You know, Chronic Town is where I first heard them. But I was listening to all of these records and so many others that when I bought Life's Rich Pageant on cassette, that's where I really, really started getting into REM. Elvis Costello, Almost Blue, with John McPhee doing all the guitar work and pedal steel, who later became a Doobie Brother. I listened to a great deal as well. Almost Blue. XTC, Oranges and Lemons. I need to get that on vinyl. I listened to that so much in the Virgin Islands. Alan Parsons, I, Robot, from in the early 80s. I wore that cassette out in my car. John Hyatt, in the late 80s, I was really getting into Tears for Fears. Sowing the Seeds of Love is my favorite Tears for Fears. And in 1989, when I bought my first set of CDs, that was one of my very first CDs that I bought. And then Jeff Healey. I listened to a lot of Jeff Healey in his debut. And Marshall Crenshaw. So for the last record, here's a band from Southern California, San Diego way. And guys, that's the Beat Farmers. And really, The Pursuit of Happiness, I've listened to as much as Van Gogh. But I love this band. I mean, you have roots rock, rockabilly, cowpunk. This is just cool. You got Buddy Blue on guitar, Country Dick Montana, Jerry Rainey, and Raleigh. Here we go for the Beat Farmers. And this is simply on Curb Records. Yeah, and I love me some Beat Farmers. Just exceptional music. Well, thanks for watching this, and my next video is going to be the thread created by Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll, the 5 most overplayed songs that you still really love, and I'll be doing that next Monday or Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Take care.